Welcome back to another video. This will be generative AI, so a comparison between Rodin, Tripo, and CSM regarding a robotic kit. And this will be the case study, as you can see it over here. This is the reference, a PNG file. The dimension, we see them in pixels, so it's not a very high detailed image. If I'm going to double click, we can better see it. If I'm going to zoom in, it will become quite pixelated quite fast. So let's take a look at what generative AI managed to read within that. This is Rodin, and as you can see, it will look like this. So over here we have those two hands and a smartphone. It outputted the following mesh. Over here we should have a controller, and over here a different part, and those are again linked together. And now regarding the wheels, we see over here the orientation of the wheels is a little bit off. And we see that Rodin has a little bit of problem and struggles with depth in this case. So we have that box, and on that box we had a 3D print of that robot, and Rodin tried to recreate that and at the same time merge it with the one added near that. So we see that this is the output. In this case, let's take a look at Tripo. So for Tripo, this will be the output, the same reference image as we can see it over here. And over here, things are a little bit better. As you can see over here, those two hands and with that smartphone, it's totally, let's say, not recognizable. As you can see the reference, we see what Tripo outputted. But over here for this robot platform, it's a little bit better. We see over here the orientation of those wheels. We see over here the controller. It will look like this. So it's not exactly the same shape as within the reference. And we have over here this unit, which again is completely off. Over here we should have cables. So we see how poorly this works in this case. Now, if I will try to attempt a segmentation in this case, we're going to see a segmentation will not work for models over here that are made with quad topology. So this is currently not supported, therefore I cannot have this automatic segmented. Over here within Rodin, this also, at least the account that I have doesn't support mesh segmentation. So I can't really compare with that. But let's take a look over here at CSM. So this is the main difference for CSM. Other than those, we're going to see that this was the input image. And based on that, we're going to see that we have the controller, for example, that was within the reference. We have going to have the controller over here. So even though that was added over here within that, we're going to see how that was extracted over here. If I will check that reference again, I will make it over here a little bit larger so we can better analyze it. We're going to see over here that those are made from profiles, and we see them over here added. And let's take a look at some other elements that were recreated over here. So we see over here a bracket like this. If you're going to take a look at the references over here, I don't really see that exact same bracket. As you can see, there will be some other similar components, but not one like that. Within the other reference, it will look like this. So we're going to see that the wheel profile will look like this. And over here, the wheel profile is the following. Now, CSM generated all of this based on that. And over here, I have a new case study regarding this image, which is quite similar. And now, if I will make this larger, we're going to see that it will look like this. And we're going to see all those individual components in this case. So we have a unit that has been generated like this. We're going to have a gear over here. If you're going to check this, we're going to see that the gears over here are a little bit different. We have one over here with various cutouts. And let's take a look at the models that were generated in this case. As you can see, not all of those have been properly extracted. We have over here a cable, and CSM considered that this cable was something similar to this one, and the 3D outputted mesh will be the following. As you can see, this is quite decent, considering that that was the input. This was the following profile, and we see it over here recreated in 3D. This is for the gear. So again, it struggles with mechanical parts, but most generative AI struggle with this. There are only some that are specially designed for CAD models, and those will have better outputs. This is one of the wheels extracted over here. This is the reference, and we're gonna see all of those additional components. So in this case, we see that not all of those were, let's say, extracted from this image, but I still like the fact that it managed to better understand those individual meshes, and it really create an individual mesh for all of these. So this is the image to kit feature, and we see how well that will manage to recreate scenes like this. I have the similar one over here with Tripo, so this is the one. And we see over here that Tripo managed to do a better output than previously. So if you're going to check the reference, we're going to have over here this assembled like this. So we're going to see those profile, we're going to see the units over here as well. We see over here those hands and the smartphones are better than previously. Still, they are far from accurate hand representations, but we can actually see that those look like hands and they will hold a smartphone in this case. Regarding the mesh over here, we're gonna see that it's not that dense since it has so many components. We're just gonna have a little bit of information for each of those. And if I will just remove the texture, we're gonna see how low poly this will actually be in this case. For example, we have the cable. If we're gonna put the texture, we're gonna see that it will look like this. So it resembles something related to a cable, but again, it's far from what CSM does over here. By going and extracting individual components, as you can see over here with this power adapter, we're gonna see those two pins, and this will be the output model. In this case, it added 4 of those, but overall the shape of this is quite well defined. So in this case, this wasn't generated with texture because that will also require additional credits. But we see over here, for example, for this controller, this was the reference extracted from that image. So it's quite, in some cases it's off, as you can see those buttons, it just tried and saw that it was something similar to a controller, and it just recreated the following image, and based on this, it recreated this. So it still doesn't use exact information from the reference. It will just take some guidelines from that original image, and based on those guidelines, it will then propose additional meshes. So we see that this is how image to kit currently works. But overall, I consider that the output results for this tool are quite amazing. Okay, so let me know in the comment section what is your opinion regarding this. And also, if you know other tools similar to CSM, Tripo, or Rodin that can manage this multi-mesh segmentation, let me know in the comment section because I really want to test that as well. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching.